Good morning or afternoon, and I am happy to welcome you to this fourth UITP India Bus Seminar. On behalf of UITP and the bus community in India, I'd like to thank Honorable Union Minister Mr. Nitin Gadkari for gracing this inaugural session with his presence. The bus sector in India is facing one of its toughest challenges ever, and the strong leadership demonstrated by Minister Gadkari will go a long way in helping the sector in facing these tough times. UITP has been active in India since 2007 under a special MOU with the ASRTU and all its affiliated bus agencies as our core member since the beginning. So advancing the bus sector in India is our core mandate, and we would like to support the government of India in this through knowledge sharing, advocacy, and research. In this exceptional pandemic context, buses have been the true guardians of mobility in India during the tough lockdown phases and even now. Despite near zero revenues, bus operators continue to provide service to the healthcare personnel and essential workers. They are now facing the challenge of attracting users back given the perceived risks. Minister, your leadership is much needed in dispelling users' myth that buses are unsafe. There is not a single scientific study worldwide showing that public transport presents more risks of contamination than any other public places. At the contrary, many surveys and empirical data show that there are no clusters linked to public transport. For example, in France, according to the Public Health Institute, a governmental body, only 1% of clusters are linked to transport. They come mainly from workplaces, 24%, healthcare venues, 16%, family gatherings, 14%, public events, 9%, and social accommodations, 8%. So we must stop stigmatizing public transport. With adequate sanitization, ventilation, and face coverings, risks are negligible. Public transport, and more importantly, buses, are crucial for any country to thrive economically and to provide affordable access to opportunities for everyone. So let me remind you that the economic benefits of public transport are 5 times greater than the money invested in it. Moreover, the COVID-19 crisis should not make us lose sight of the persisting climate and ecological crisis. And as the economy recovers, it should be steered towards Green Deal compatible growth to build back better. Emerging technologies of digitalization in bus operations, deployment of mobility as a service, clean fuels, and electric mobility, as mentioned by Prime Minister Modi in his Independence Day speech, are essential for successful bus operations. In addition, legislative support and capacity building initiatives in bus planning, scheduling, operations, and contracting are needed. In this context, Minister, we are happy at UITP to offer our global knowledge base and expertise combined with a strong local presence to advance the Indian bus sector and make it Atmanirbhar. I thank you all for your attention and presence, and I would like to invite Honorable Union Minister Mr. Nitin Gadkari to give the keynote address. Minister, yours.
All respectable dear friends, already government as India set up a target to make Indian economy of $5 trillion up to 2024, and 100% transportation plays a key role in ensuring our economic development by providing access to mobility for passengers and goods. Majority what my request to all of you, before going into details, we need to understand what are the negative points which we are facing in the transport sector in India. As far as our constitution is concerned, the public transport is a subject in a concurrent list, where the majority state government are responsible for operating the buses. Now the problem is that in the Indian scenario, majority of the state government undertaking are facing huge losses, and that is because of lot of reasons are there. But one of the important reason is it is because of the cost of fuel is also very equally important. In India, we are importing crude oil of 7 lakh crores, and that is exactly pollution point of view. This is also a tedious problem. So now for the future, as a transport minister, my vision is to make Indian transport on the long-term buses and trucks will be operated, which we are going to 800 to 1000 kilometer more, or more than 500 kilometer per day, where we can use as a electric or LNG as a fuel, because it is the cost effective. And there are many buses which are operating in city areas as a school buses, as a industrial buses and city bus service, where we can take it as a CNG as a fuel. So this is going to change the economics of transport. In present situation, there is a lot of loss of diesel, because anyone can easily take diesel from the tank. But regarding LNG and CNG, it is difficult to get it back from the tank. So the maintenance cost is also less, pollution is also less. So now in Nagpur, we have started conversion of 450 buses into bio-CNG, out of which 90 buses already we have converted. And so our loss in the bus service was 60 crore rupees per year. But by converting into CNG, I am confident that we are going to save at least 60 crore rupees per year. And now we are trying to making of CNG from sewage water, and also we have got a technology that making CNG from rice straw, generally which is born in India because it is popularly known as parali, and because of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, they are burning of this parali, rice straw. It creates lot of pollution in Delhi, where we are facing crucial problem related with the pollution. So this can be idea of conversion of waste into wealth. The other important thing is, I always try to implement the model London Transport. That is a good model, where the operator will invest in the capital cost for taking buses, and per kilometer corporation will allow them and they will give their charges. For example, a city bus run 225 kilometer per day or 250 kilometer per day, so they can pay the cost for it. Presently, the bus on diesel in Mumbai, the best is running, the cost is 115 rupees per kilometer. The ethanol buses, actually when it was operated in Nagpur, our cost was coming to 78 rupees per kilometer. And now the electric buses cost is coming to 50 rupees per kilometer. Even in some area we can use methanol as a fuel. In Assam Petroleum in Guwahati for Northeast, their capacity is making of 100 ton of methanol per day. That is also a very cheap fuel. So first of all, we need to upgrade the technology related with the fuel, related with the engine, and related with the transport system. The public-private investment is very, very easily available, economically viable, and the state transport, we can pursue them to accept this policy on the basis of London transport model. Even we can think about trolley buses on electricity. if anyone is ready to invest in India, we can give him a pilot project for a city where they can run their buses on electric, and I am confident that as compared with diesel, they will get more margin. The ticket rate will be same like a diesel. But because of the cost saving between diesel and electric, it is a very, very economically attractive project. So the trolley buses on electric, or two, what is called is double buses ko kya कहते हैं?
Tram buses.
Two buses joining each other, that I don't know. Rail bus. So we can start this type of buses in India because electric is available. Only we have to make the electric line. Whether it should be technically find out whether it is possible for us to transport of goods, trucks also on the same system. Then their economic viability may be increased. We are also planning of making of bus ports which are economically viable. The prime land is with the state government. On PPP model, we can develop bus port like airport. Now we have the most important thing in Indian context, that we have already changed this particularly in the buses. We have already taking measures to change lot of standards and lot of rules, regulation related with operations. My suggestion is, on this line, by considering the negative point in Indian transport system, there is a huge potential. Presently, India has got 17 lakh of buses, out of which only 10% use as a public transport. Somewhere some buses are using for industrial purposes for taking their labours. Some buses are using as a school buses. Some buses are for the city buses. And even we can make private airlines like one point to another point double-decker bus service with giving good comforts from Delhi to Jaipur, Delhi to Ludhiana, Jalandhar, Chandigarh, Mumbai to Pune, Mumbai to Nasik. I am giving you an example of Mumbai-Pune. I got approached to construct Mumbai-Pune Express Highway. At that time, now the Volvo first, the ST taken like one or two buses of Volvo buses, air-conditioned buses for Mumbai to Pune. The service is so popular now that people are paying more charges, and now there are hundreds of 200s of buses now going from Pune to Mumbai by you giving air-conditioned buses, and they are very popular. So from one point to another point, one city to another city also we can make it. Then we can use it for city transport. We can also have to think about the school transport, particularly for the boys, where we need to find out some option for them. And at the same time, for industrial transport also, the buses requirement is there. As far as the goods transport, there is a huge potential. We are constantly trying to reduce our logistic cost. And for that reason, we are now thinking of making of e-highway. We are already talking with a Swedish firm for making of Mumbai-Delhi highway, some small pilot project as a e-highway, electric highway. So anywhere in the world who are ready with capital and ready to invest in India, we will encourage them for trolley buses, for double-decker buses, for buses on electricity, buses on LNG, and conversion of diesel buses into CNG. And also one point to another point also we can encourage. And now this is the time for the country that we should encourage the private sector. Government sector in some of the states, they are doing good job, but the losses they are facing, they help from the government, and government is no state government, and state government is not in position to help them. And that is one of the reason is they are going to close their services. So today we need to find out the option on it. We need to convince the stakeholder of the state government to give a good comfort, good transport service to the poor people. And on that line, by understanding the negative point in Indian sector, Indian scenario, we need to plan the policy for that. As far as the federal government is concerned, we are very much committed for progress development in this sector. We are positive to encourage investment in this sector. We are constantly requesting state government to accept the London transport model. We are trying to convert our buses on CNG. Now, lot of state governments are encouraging, and central government also giving lot of subsidy as far as the e-buses are concerned. The GST on e-buses is reasonably very, very less. So today in the scenario, considering the economics, I feel that it is very, very economically viable. If the investor from the abroad, they want to invest in it, all India, at least there is a huge market of at least 5 lakhs buses. They can invest because there is a need for that. And because of the public transport is not good, people are purchasing cars, and that is also creating more pollution. So my suggestion is for public transport on electricity, public transport on biofuel, bio-CNG, CNG, methanol, long-term public transport on electricity and LNG, by which we can make good economics and we can 100% make it a profitable business, by which it can be easy for us to get more investment in the sector. So this is a sector where is a huge potential is available. Only the innovative models and the investment, and I am confident that there is a attractive returns are there. If the foreign investors are ready to come to India to invest in it, we will encourage them. They can make joint venture company and they will come. As a ministry in a federal government, I want to support them. I will support them and I will encourage them. And this is exactly the country need. But somewhere some bottlenecks are there. But I am confident that we will resolve that bottlenecks and we will make the system transparent, time-bound, result-oriented, decision-making and corruption-free, by which we can encourage the public transport in the different states and the cities by using different fuels and maintaining good economics that can be possible. And it is going to create more employment potential also. So my request to all of you that you plan it, and 100% before planning you need to understand the negative point of the sector in India, and then on the basis of that, if you can plan it, our support is with you. The federal government is ready to support fully to you, and I am confident that we will resolve the issues and bottlenecks, and we will be in position to make a system transparent, and we can make it availability of buses to the people by and large, and we will resolve the present crucial crisis related with the public transport problem in India. I am giving you my all best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. On our other chat window, we have received a lot of questions. So, if I may, please request your permission to ask a few questions to you that we have received from audience. So the first question is that international financing institutions are traditionally focused on funding metro within India. So what should the bus sector do so that they can attract financing from international funding institutions?
Actually, the metro cost is 350 crore rupees per kilometer. So metros are only possible for us to make metro in metro cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Calcutta, Delhi. But metro is a cost, per capital cost is very high. So if your association can convince the financial institution in the world, now they are searching for opportunity. There is a huge fund is available. If they are ready to invest in electric the trolley buses, 2 buses, joint buses, rail buses, or making double-decker buses in public transport, making a London transport model like the models, if they are interested, government is ready to support them. Even also presently, I feel that in India there is the size of the city is different. The Bangalore, Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai, Delhi size is different. We need their different type of solutions. But the second tier city like Bhopal, Gwalior, Indore, Nagpur, where we need some other solution, and less than that third tier, fourth tier city, where we have to plan in a different way. But we can make connectivity between one point to another point, Delhi to Jaipur, Delhi to Mathura, Delhi to Kanpur, Delhi to Ludhiana, Delhi to Jalandhar, Delhi to Chandigarh, then Chandigarh to Simla. So this type of different type of models, one point to another point we can make it. There is a huge potential is available, economic viability is available, and metros are good for the metro cities. For the other city, we need public transport, cheaper transport with low capital cost, and where people can at least afford that. So there is a huge potential is available.
So, sir, you could be happy amongst our audience. About 46% of our audience is actually from outside India. Of the total registered audience, it's only 54% who are Indian companies. And we have about 120 plus companies who are listening to you right now and your talk. So, sir, moving to the next question, bus sector is evolving very rapidly across the world with new technologies in planning, scheduling, contracting, maintenance. What are the ministry's initiatives to include these new technologies in our STUs and to build their capacity so that they can use those technologies?
Actually, we need twofold approach. First of all, both quantity and quality is there. Actually, my opinion is we don't want to compromise with the quality. And also the choice of the people, comfort level is also considering. Now people, now they have a choice of a good transport. So my suggestion is, by converting transport into LNG or CNG or electric, compare with the diesel, cost saving is very big. So with the same ticket rate, we can give the good comforts. And that is exactly the thing which I feel that, whereby using of different type of technology, we can give the solution. And regarding the capital also, the capital cost in India is very high. If suppose a foreign investor, they are ready to invest in India in this sector, that can be good. My good model and good suggestion to automobile company, if the automobile company on their credit, if they can give buses, good buses to operator on deferred payment basis with the low interest cost, because they can get the capital from abroad and they can take some advance 20%, 21%, and they can give the bus on the basis of monthly basis, they will get their money back. Even daily they can connect the money, and there can be a system. Now we are already strengthened the NBFCs. So NBFC also can get good finance. But my suggestion is the automobile manufacturer. Already they have their automobile finance company, NBFCs are there. And by using the credential of NBFC, they can take 25% advance, and on lease basis they can give the buses to the operator. That can be a good thing where they will get the business and people will get good comforts. But one thing regarding quality and standards, now it is the time that we need all buses of international standards like UK, USA, because here in the bus body building, other thing, there are a lot of problems are there. So as far as there are a lot of accidents are taken places, and the people choices, they want good buses. So 100% good company, manufacturing company, big brands, they have a huge potential. Now the electric buses are manufacturing in India, and now they are giving buses on deferred payment basis. The cost of the electric bus is very high, but because of the fuel is very cheap, the cost for getting per kilometer average is very less. So this can be a new innovation, new idea, new technology, by giving more comforts without increasing into the ticket rates, because diesel rates are already high. And as in place of diesel, if you are using LNG, CNG or electric, there is a huge economic viability, saving is there. So in place of that, making saving on it, you can give good comforts. And at least you can maintain the ticket rate of diesel by giving good comforts, air conditioned buses, good sitting arrangement, all type of arrangement. I feel that it can be attractive thing. And I feel that we are committed for quality at the same time quantity. So it is the market driven economy is there. People choice is good. Now the poor people, they don't want to take color TV. They are taking, they are not taking black and white TV. They are taking color TV. So this is the choice of the people. They have more comforts. And by changing in fuel, you can give, there will be no economic rise. So it can be a win-win idea for all the sectors.
Thank you, sir. Well said. We need to look at the total cost of ownership of electric buses and not just their upfront cost. With that, I would request Mr. Arun Bothra to ask his question. He has been waiting for it for quite long. As you all know, he is CMD, OSRTC and Moody Crude. Mr. Bothra, over to you.
Good morning, sir. This is Arun Bothra. I am CMD of the Odisha State Road Transport Corporation, as well as I am looking after the city bus company here also in Odisha. Just wanted to share a very small thing, sir. There are a lot of e-commerce portals in the country now, which are delivering in the cities, but like they are not able to deliver the nook and corner of the country. Like for example, Odisha, many districts, they are not delivering their services. So they have a problem of reaching the place, and we right now are having the problem of revenue because the ridership has gone down, and anyways the transport companies are in losses, as you know, sir. So there can be a win-win situation, kind of having a logistic partnership with the e-commerce portals, where e-commerce portals can have a reach across the country, and the bus companies can also get the revenue. Not only that, sir, it will create a lot of jobs also. And the people will also get services of the e-commerce portals across the country. So this is the model we are trying in Odisha, sir. I just thought to share, and if government can push the idea, Government of India can push the idea, maybe this can help everybody, because it's a kind of win-win situation for everybody, sir. Thank you, sir.
So your idea is very good. We are now making multimodal hubs also. So by taking help of e-portal, we can increase the market share also, and we can give good services to people. Now lot of bus transport people are there doing their booking by e-portal. The companies are doing good business, and people can understand. Suppose a person want to go to Chandigarh, immediately he will go onto the portal what time the bus is available, where the ticket is available, which number is available. He can book the ticket at the time he go there, and he will take the bus. So by using technology in booking and everything, it can be nothing like that, and it's really a good idea. My another idea is, first of all, I am supporting your idea, what you are doing. It's in a good direction. The other idea is, suppose in, I don't know the cities of Odisha, but from Bhubaneswar, suppose is going up to Rourkela, there is a big traffic is there. So you can start a double-decker bus, giving permit to them. It is we need to convince the state government that you open the permits. So that bus will take air-conditioned bus, just like Indigo and SpiceJet or other private jet company. There will be a private bus. The time will be there. They start from Bhubaneswar going to Rourkela, for example. So their reaching time will be perfect. Their stoppage will be decided, and the ground level there will be executive class or economy class. Double-decker bus will be there. On the first floor there will be economic class. There will be a girl like air hostess. She can offer tea, coffee, something to them, and giving a good service. Even the executive class people they can sleep. Good buses, good seat arrangements. Already there is lot of invention is there. So people will give 20% more rate, and they will go in place of car. They will use the buses and public buses. So to encourage the new people in the direction, it creates more employment potential and comforts to the people by and large. But the problem is that giving this permit, there is a lot of resistance in the state government. And I don't know what is the reason, but The reason is known to everybody that this permit is we need to make a electronic a portal by which we can give them permit. We will get the revenue from it, and it should be reasonably if you can charge. It creates more employment potential, and this innovative model will resolve your all problems. My request is to what you are doing in the direction you need to do more experiments on the basis of that attraction, and that is going to create a more employment potential in the state. Now there will be a dress uniform for driver. There will be a lady who will be just like a air hostess, can give a good services. There will be a music system in the, everyone can listen. Even they can see the film also. Just like airport, there will be a TV screen. They can see, and they can, with their music system, they can see any picture or music or anything. So this type of facility, people will give you the more money. You can start this and allow this, and this type of transport services will give you more revenue and creating more employment potential in the state. But we need to work on this direction. Already there are successful practices in the European countries, the USA, everywhere. On the line of that, we need to do that. And regarding the quality, I am constantly pursuing, because in Indian system, the bus body, we have to make of international standards. That is also very important. So by making more buses, we can reduce the cost of it, and availability of finance also we can make it. Even as a MSME minister, I can assure you, if some of the people are coming forward and they will purchase 2 buses, 3 buses, from MSME, we are ready to finance them. We are financing the taxis. Why not we will finance for the buses? So the buses on biofuel, buses on LNG, buses on CNG, we will convert it. There is also one model I am doing in Nagpur. You can do it in Orissa also, and you come to see to Nagpur this. Our losses was 60 crore per year. So the idea was to convert diesel buses on CNG. So now presently we have converted 80 buses. Our maintenance cost is reduced, our fuel cost is reduced, and 50 to 60% saving in diesel we already is there. So because of that, our economic viability is increased. So this can be possible by existing diesel buses. You can convert into CNG, and you can make CNG from rice straw. In Orissa, the rice straw is amply available in the rural agriculture area. I am ready to give you the technology. I am doing the project. I am not talking only theory. I am already doing the project. I will give the IIT engineer, those who are doing the projects. Mahindra and Mahindra is doing one project in Ludhiana. I am doing lot of, because I am also from the Vidarbha area where the paddy is the main crop. So now my idea is to convert all 9 districts into bio-CNG. So I am working on it. Already I have 3 projects are doing. Then I am making 1 project. Now at our own I am taking pain to start that project. That conversion of methane into bio-CNG from sewage water. You have got the ample waste is available, solid waste and liquid waste, out of which if the organic waste is there and the biomass, cotton straw, wheat straw, rice straw, bagasse taking into biodigester, you can get methane, and from methane you get bio-CNG, and you can run your buses, and your loss will be wiped out and your profit will be increased, because it is so cost effective. And you, in place of that, you give good comfort to the people, air conditioned bus, good sitting arrangement, music system, they can see the picture for one point to another point. So this can be possible. If you want to see, you come to Nagpur. Already we have converted 80 buses, and this is a success story.
Sir, you have to actually recommend my case to the petroleum minister actually, sir, who is from our state only. Because, sir, we don't have CNG in many places in Odisha, sir. Just I'm telling, sir, he's a very nice person and very supportive to us. But I'm just sharing, sir, Nagpur is a different world. If you can kindly recommend our case to the Honorable Petroleum Minister to give us the CNG pumps, and that will be very nice, sir. I'm just making a suggestion.
Till that there is no problem. I will tell you a simple technology. Even for transport, LNG is easy. So you take the LNG, compress it, and make in CNG. It can be on a petrol pump. You can make an arrangement. My suggestion: you come to Nagpur. I will show you the successful experiment, and you take a private person, allow them for opening of petrol pump of CNG. You convert your buses and do it. I am doing the model in Nagpur. Just you can see the NBFC is financing for kit and cylinders. Pump is already there. They are taking LNG and compress it and convert into CNG. But for long term, it will not be possible because now government is coming with the policy that you cannot convert LNG into CNG. Then that will be right of the private people. So my suggestion is for bio CNG there is no restriction. Already I have a discussion with Dharmendra Pradhan. He is from Orissa. You can tell my name to him and discuss with him, and you can make 4 or 5 projects there to making in place of side of Bhubaneswar and making a bio CNG from rice straw, and you can use it for the transport of Bhubaneswar and other city. There is no problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bothra. We now have a question from KSRTC MD, Mr. Shivyogi C. Kalasar. Sir, over to you.
Sir, good morning, sir. I am Shivyogi Kalsad, Managing Director of Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation here in Bengaluru, sir. Here in Karnataka, we have been doing some good work, sir, and we have got a lot of patronage from Government of India also, sir. Especially more so during this COVID challenging times. We are impressed with your kind of on-the-hands solutions to make the transport sector more sustainable, sir. My submission would be, sir, what are the initiatives being taken up under the Atma Nirbhar Bharat Yojana under the transport sector and more particularly in the government STU sector, sir?
Actually, I received letter from your government for where you are expecting some help from the central government for your KSRTC because they are making losses. But it is very difficult. We don't have presently any package for state transport, public transport. But we are only increasing the time limit for registration and all small things we are doing. But my suggestion is KSRTC is one of the good transport corporation in India, one of the good state Karnataka is doing. My suggestion to the state is day by day you can go for public-private model, PPP model, and allow private people to invest in it, and you can take some royalty from that. Small profit. In place of your loss, you will get the profit from that. And for economically non-viable routes, which you are doing, where you can use that subsidy. And if you can convert your diesel buses in bio CNG, then there will be no loss. There is a 50% saving in diesel price. So it is really a good saving. So you can make good profits from that and giving good comfort to the people. So one of the reasons I will tell you that you should accept new technology and same time using this type of fuel which are indigenous, cost effective, import substitute, pollution free and indigenous. The technology is available. Now in Karnataka you have got a lot of sugar mill. And because of sugar, the Karnataka now the whole sugar sector, farmers, agriculture sector is facing the problem. From last many days I pursue one thing, why you are not using buses on ethanol. There is a factory of Scania in Bangalore. They are making ethanol buses. And from particularly sugar mill you take ethanol. And now government is allowing ethanol pump also. The bike from TVS 100% on bioethanol is now available. The Bajaj also has already manufactured bike on bioethanol. They were even in the car engine, all these new brands which are present in India. Already in Brazil, USA and Canada they are using flex engine. Either it is a choice with a consumer to use petrol or ethanol 100%. Karnataka is the one of the bigger state who is making ethanol, bioethanol, sugar. And surplus of sugar is a problem for the country. We are giving 6,000 crore subsidy for export of sugar from India. So my suggestion is you talk with your minister, tell my name to Chief Minister also, and making transport available on this ethanol. How I can help you that as being a MSME minister, I can give suppose the 2 or 3 buses anyone is going to purchase, 5 buses, 10 buses. I am ready to support them. and you allow them, these people, and they can purchase the buses one point to another point. They will give some little royalty to you also. The ticket rate will be same, and they will give good comforts, music system, picture, air conditioned buses with good sitting arrangement, and it will be give a good comfort to the common people also. So on the innovative model, using of the fuel, changing in fuel in place of diesel, the LNG and CNG, biodiesel and ethanol, you can save the cost and you can also save the pollution, and that is to be a very, very win-win for all the stakeholders. My suggestion is, by accepting this new technology and doing new things, innovative approach, you can make your corporation profitable. As a MSME, I am ready to finance them, but there is no presently any package is available.
So thank you for your words, sir. And we in Karnataka will adopt the latest technology, especially the ethanol-based fuel mix. And we expect the similar incentives for the bus manufacturers also, especially we have the different...
Rate is 58 rupees per liter, and diesel rate is high, but ethanol caloric value is less. But at least there is a saving 10 to 15 rupees per 10 rupees, 15 rupees saving may be there. So again, you can reduce the cost, and ethanol is there is a maintenance cost you can reduce, and there will be no less pollution. It's a green fuel, so the pollution will be less. Ultimately, you have to reduce the pollution in Bangalore. So this can be eco-friendly. So my request to you is to 100% think on this line. Who is the Minister for Road Transport now?
Sir, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Mr. Lakshman Saudi. So he's from Belgaum area. He's aware of the sugar.
When Lakshman Saudi meet me 2 times, 3 times, I pursue him. So tell Lakshmanji to adopt this policy. He know the thing. I already convinced him. You do it the line on this line and go ahead. I will support you. If any problem, please come to Delhi. I will resolve your problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the kind words.
Now we have a question from Mr. Jürgen Baumann from GIZ. Jürgen, over to you.
Yes, hello, Mr. Ghakhari. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. GIZ is the German Development Corporation, and we are supporting the Green Urban Mobility Partnership through our Smart Sustainable Urban Transport Project, Green Urban Mobility Partnership between Indian and German government. My question to you today is, we have a specific situation all over the world, and we have to tackle the questions which are related to the pandemic situation from COVID-19. What are the concrete initiatives that the Indian government can take to support the STUs and the private bus operators to overcome all these impacts of this pandemic? Do you have any concrete ideas? Thank you very much.
Presently, all stakeholders are in problem. Some of the state government, they are facing problem how to pay the salary for the next month. So central government revenue is also reduced. Government has already declared the package of 20 lakh crore. We are helping to industry and everybody, small industry, bankers, NBFCs, and to the state government. But regarding the transport sector, when there is a bank loan, the private operator, those who have bank loan, already we have rescheduled and restructured the accounts. We are giving them 20% more. Those who are registered as a MSME, they are getting 20% more additional working capital without collateral. That is also the scheme in the banking we are giving to them. We are restructuring the accounts. But presently, every sector is facing the problem. We are trying our level best to positively help to them. But everyone is a problem, that is the problem. So naturally, we have a lot of restrictions on that. But we are very positive and trying to help people. We have increased the time limit for registration, again the permit, and everywhere we are now trying to help to the sector. But presently, we don't have any package for the sector.
Thank you very much.
Now the last and final question from Mohammed Medghani. Mohammed, may I request you?
Yeah, thank you. Minister, thank you very much for explaining your approach and your vision on how to support the bus sector and how to encourage the energy shift in the bus sector. I have one question. You have been focusing, or you are focusing a lot on the technology aspect. But we all know, I mean, these buses, even if they are electric, if they are zero emission buses, when they are stuck in traffic, they will not attract people. They will not be good for I mean, people will lose a lot of time in traffic. So what's your approach on that? I mean, you mentioned the example of London, and in London is not just the contractual aspect, it's also about bus lanes, about making bus operation more efficient. And this can only be decided by the government. It cannot be decided by the operators themselves. So what's your approach on that, on how to make bus transport more attractive by increasing the commercial speed of buses on the roads?
Actually, one of the good example of making new innovation and doing good experiment is Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation. The Intelligent Transport System project in Mysuru, in Karnataka. This project is of 500 buses out of 105 bus stops, 6 bus terminals and 45 platforms. And this project is the first of its kind in India for the complete implementation of ITS system for complete city operation in the history of STUs in India. So this is a very good experiment. Lot of people are doing it. But regarding this technology, I am telling you one thing. By conversion of diesel bus into CNG, the cost is 3,50,000 rupees. And within 2 years, they will get their cost back. It is less pollution, less maintenance cost, economically viable. If NBFC finance it for making of changing diesel bus into CNG, within 5 years they can get, 5 years or 2 years also, 3 years they can get money back. The other is LNG. Conversion of diesel truck into LNG, the cost is 10 to 12 lakh. But now you can get your cost back within 2 years. Even 1 year, 7 or 8 months, you will get your cost. That much saving is there. Less pollution, less maintenance cost. So we need to have support from NBFCs, those who can support them for changing diesel into CNG or LNG. This can be a good business in India. And now the LNG is available, and the government policy is to take LNG to everywhere. The already work have started, and LNG is a very cheap fuel. And for long term trucks and buses, we can use LNG. And for city bus service and school buses and city transport, we can use CNG. So this can be a very, very good option for the future. And government is encouraging. Now the technology point of view, my idea is, now our agriculture sector is in a problem. So whether it is possible to, already ethanol is available in agriculture sector now. Our size of ethanol economy is 20,000 crore. And within 2 years we will make it 1 lakh crore. Because now we are allowing making ethanol from rice cut. Because we have surplus rice, surplus food grain. Even we are allowing making ethanol from corn. And the other thing is we are also converting biomass into CNG. And second generation ethanol also, making ethanol from biomass. That can be also possible. So adopting new technology, we will reduce pollution, economic viability and giving good comforts. Without increasing the ticket rate, we can give good comfort to the poor people. So because of the technology, this can be possible. And regarding the traffic, the intelligent traffic system, or lot of schemes are there. We are now identifying black spots. And we are spending at least 14,000 crores on national highway for improvement in black spots, accidental spots. So now state government is also doing lot of things, because the road accident and road safety is very important for us. In India, every year we are facing 5 lakhs accidents and 1,50,000 deaths. But with the help of World Bank, our Tamil Nadu government is doing a very good experiment. And by implementing that project, they reduced the death rate by 25% and accident rate by 25 to 26%. So there we can do it. So we are constantly using technology for intelligent traffic system, how we can avoid accidents. We want to improve the technology related with the fuel. We want to change the norms for giving comforts to the people. And we are now trying to encourage public-private investment in the sector. And there is, I feel that our state road transport undertaking system is failed. So it is the time for the state road transport to make models like London Transport. They can get some royalty from that, and that can be used for giving subsidy for the economically non-viable routes also. So this can be a good model. On that line, we need to change the policy and adopt the technology of international standards as far as the machine standards and engine standards, fuel standards, and the comfort standards are concerned. And that is where India is in the process to accept all these things and marching ahead towards the making Indian economy of $5 trillion, and where the transport, public transport is very equally important. And our vision is to giving first priority for making public transport on electricity and biofuel.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We will close the Q&A here. So I would like to thank Honorable Union Minister Shri Nitin Gadkari ji for gracing the occasion, ASRTU for supporting us, attending sponsors, Indian and international panelists and speakers, and most importantly, participants for being part of the seminar. We look forward to next 4 days of engaging discussions, interesting presentations, and knowledge sharing. Here we will take a 2-minute break and gather for the panel discussion on COVID-19 impact.